Every Super Bowl promises football greatness, but it also brings its fair share of drama. Get your popcorn ready, because this is every Super Bowl controversy explained in 20 minutes. Let's break down each matchup's most talked about incident and see how they shaped NFL history. Here we go. Super Bowl 57, 2023. The Kansas City Chiefs edged out the Philadelphia Eagles, but the late holding penalty on James Bradbury caused an uproar. Many believe the call decided the game's final drive, overshadowing Jalen Hurts' stellar performance. Compounding the talk was the slippery State Farm Stadium turf, criticized by players on both teams. At the end of the day, the Chiefs got the ring, but the debate over the officiating and the field raged on. Super Bowl 56, 2022. The Los Angeles Rams defeated the Cincinnati Bengals, yet a series of questionable officiating decisions marred the game's reputation. T. Higgins' touchdown involved a missed face mask call on Jalen Ramsey, while the Rams benefited from a defensive holding penalty late in the game. Both teams battled fiercely, but fans still argue about the let-them-play philosophy seemingly abandoned in crunch time. Super Bowl 55, 2021. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hammered Patrick Mahomes' Kansas City Chiefs. Penalties on the Chiefs came at critical moments. Holding calls and pass interference flags created controversy as the flags heavily favored Tampa Bay early on. Critics claimed it disrupted the game's flow. Meanwhile, the Bucs' defense relentlessly pressured Mahomes. Controversies aside, it was all Tampa in a 31-9 blowout. Super Bowl 54, 2020. The Kansas City Chiefs staged a come-from-behind victory over the San Francisco 49ers. However, a critical offensive pass interference call on George Kittle right before halftime stirred debate. Replay showed minimal contact, leaving some fans feeling the 49ers lost crucial momentum. Add in Kyle Shanahan's questionable late-game play calling, and it fueled conspiracies that Kansas City got all the breaks. If you've made it this far through all the flags, flops, and missed calls, do the right thing. Like and subscribe. Don't be like the refs. Actually make the correct call. Super Bowl 53, 2019. A defensive showdown saw the New England Patriots topping the Los Angeles Rams 13-3, the lowest scoring Super Bowl ever. Much of the pregame chatter revolved around the Rams' controversial victory in the NFC Championship, where an infamous missed pass interference call against the Saints overshadowed the lead-up. Fans called it the Boring Bowl, though Patriots fans probably didn't mind adding another Lombardi. Super Bowl 52, 2018. Nick Foles led the Philadelphia Eagles to a shocking upset over Tom Brady and the Patriots. The main point of contention was the catch rule, involving Zach Ertz's touchdown and Corey Clement's bobble in the end zone. Both were scrutinized under the then-confusing catch criteria. Officials confirmed both touchdowns, and Philly Special entered football legend. Super Bowl 51, 2017. The New England Patriots overcame a 28-3 deficit to stun the Atlanta Falcons in overtime. Despite no glaring officiating gaffes, lingering traces of Deflategate haunted the Patriots. Some fans joked that the league was making up for suspending Brady, but any conspiracy theories got overshadowed by perhaps the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, leaving the Falcons reeling. Super Bowl 50, 2016. Peyton Manning's Denver Broncos topped Cam Newton's Carolina Panthers thanks to a suffocating defense. The big controversy came when Cam Newton appeared to shy away from a loose football after a strip sack in the fourth quarter. Critics questioned his leadership and toughness. Cam insisted it was a split-second decision for safety. Von Miller's MVP performance stole the headlines. Super Bowl 49, 2015. The New England Patriots beat the Seattle Seahawks 28-24 in a classic, but Seattle's decision not to hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch on the 1-yard line drew massive outrage. Instead, a pass play led to Malcolm Butler's legendary interception. Conspiracy theories erupted about Pete Carroll overthinking, but all agreed it became one of the most replayed calls in NFL lore. Super Bowl 48, 2014. The Seattle Seahawks crushed the Denver Broncos 43-8, culminating in a lopsided affair. While there wasn't a major officiating or off-field scandal, the blowout itself sparked talk about the NFL's top defense easily defeating the top offense. Some questioned if Peyton Manning struggled under the open-air conditions at MetLife Stadium. Overall, no real smoking gun, just a complete defensive domination. Super Bowl 47, 2013. The Baltimore Ravens topped the San Francisco 49ers in a thriller. However, a power outage after halftime caused a 34-minute delay, shifting the game's momentum. Rumors flew. Sabotage, stadium issues, or random electrical mishap. The conspiracy theories ran wild. Late in the game, no call on potential pass interference against the Ravens in the end zone still irritates some Niners fans. Super Bowl 46, 2012. Eli Manning and the Giants repeated their underdog magic against Tom Brady's Patriots. The key debate revolved around Mario Manningham's sideline catch in the fourth quarter. Patriots fans argued he might not have had full control before going out of bounds. Replay upheld the catch, fueling the Giants' game-winning drive and sealing another chapter in the Brady-Manning rivalry. Super Bowl 45, 2011. The Green Bay Packers defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers at Atant Stadium, but a major off-field fiasco involved stadium seating. Over 1,200 fans had seat issues due to incomplete sections of the stadium, leading to last-minute relocations or standing room-only spots. Legally, the NFL faced lawsuits from angry ticket holders, overshadowing an otherwise hard-fought matchup. Super Bowl 44, 2010. The New Orleans Saints earned their first title by beating Peyton Manning's Colts. Sean Payton's daring onside kick, dubbed Ambush, sparked some debate, though it was more brilliance than controversy. Conspiracy-minded folks speculated the league wanted a feel-good story post-Hurricane Katrina. Drew Brees and the Saints earned every point in a memorable 31-17 victory. Super Bowl 43, 2009. The Pittsburgh Steelers outlasted the Arizona Cardinals 27-23. The biggest flashpoint was Santonio Holmes' late touchdown catch in the end zone. Whether both feet were truly down caused a swirl of replays. Officials confirmed the tiptoe was valid, cementing Holmes' MVP performance. Fans also debated James Harrison's 100-yard interception return and potential blocks in the back, but the call stood. Super Bowl 42, 2008. The New York Giants pulled off one of the biggest upsets, ending the New England Patriots' quest for a perfect season. The controversy came before the game, with Spygate tarnishing the Patriots' image. Though the allegations centered around earlier season tape recording, it lingered into the Super Bowl. The legendary helmet catch overshadowed all as the Giants celebrated and the unbeaten dream died. Super Bowl 41, 2007. Peyton Manning's Colts beat the Chicago Bears in a rainy Miami affair. Aside from sloppy special teams play, the main chatter concerned Rex Grossman's meltdown and the Bears' questionable offense. There weren't huge officiating disputes or off-field fiascos. Some fans still blame the downpour for the high turnover count, but no large conspiracy here. Just a soggy game. Super Bowl 40, 2006. The Pittsburgh Steelers edged the Seattle Seahawks 21-10 in a widely disputed contest. Several pivotal penalties against the Seahawks came at crucial times, including a questionable offensive pass interference on Darrell Jackson and a debatable holding call that nullified a big play. Critics accused the officials of favoring the Steelers. The controversy remains one of the biggest officiating debates in Super Bowl history. Super Bowl 39, 2005. The New England Patriots took down the Philadelphia Eagles for their third championship in 4 years. Terrell Owens played on a still-healing leg, but that wasn't the controversy. Instead, talk centered on the Eagles' puzzling clock management late in the game. Donovan McNabb's alleged vomiting incident in the huddle also drew speculation over whether nerves or sickness impacted final drives. Super Bowl 38, 2004. The Patriots won a thrilling battle against the Carolina Panthers. Yet this game is infamous for Janet Jackson's halftime wardrobe malfunction with Justin Timberlake. Immediately dubbed Nipplegate, it overshadowed the classic back-and-forth final quarter. The FCC cracked down on broadcast standards, and the incident remains one of the biggest broadcast controversies in television history. Super Bowl 37, 2003. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers crushed the Oakland Raiders 48-21, but the lead-up was filled with drama. John Gruden, who coached the Raiders just a year before, was traded to Tampa. The controversy centered on whether Raiders coach Bill Callahan changed the game plan at the last minute. Some players claim sabotage. Regardless, Tampa's defense feasted on Rich Gannon's offense. Super Bowl 36, 2002. The Patriots stunned the heavily favored St. Louis Rams 2017. Later, rumors emerged that New England had secretly videotaped the Rams' walkthrough. Though the league found no conclusive evidence of that specific event, it fueled early whispers of Spygate. Also, a ticky-tack defensive holding call on the Rams helped Tom Brady's final drive. The legend of the Brady-Belichick dynasty was born. Super Bowl 35, 2001. A dominant Baltimore Ravens defense crushed the New York Giants 34-7. No major officiating controversy surfaced, but the Giants' historically bad offensive output raised eyebrows about whether they truly belonged in the big game. Most of the talk was about Ray Lewis, who was a year removed from a murder trial. Some fans found his MVP selection polarizing. Super Bowl 34, 2000. The St. Louis Rams edged the Tennessee Titans 23-16 in a thriller. The one-yard short ending overshadowed smaller controversies. Critics debated whether the Titans should have called a different final play or used a timeout sooner, but officiating was mostly clean, and the lasting image was Mike Jones' tackle on Kevin Dyson at the goal line. Super Bowl 33, 1999. John Elway's Denver Broncos defeated the Atlanta Falcons 34-19. The biggest scandal was off the field. Falcons safety Eugene Robinson was arrested the night before the game in a prostitution sting. It rocked the Falcons' locker room and overshadowed any potential on-field issues. Elway retired on top, and the drama remained behind the scenes. Super Bowl 32, 1998. The Broncos upset Brett Favre's Green Bay Packers, with MVP Terrell Davis battling migraines. Not much controversy beyond comedic speculation that the NFL might have favored John Elway finally getting a ring. The game was a back-and-forth thriller, and the main talk post-game was about Elway's iconic helicopter run. No real officiating flubs or conspiracies. Super Bowl 31, 1997. The Green Bay Packers broke a 29-year drought by beating the New England Patriots. Desmond Howard's kickoff return for a touchdown sealed it. Controversy was scarce, though Bill Parcells' looming departure to the Jets added drama for Patriots fans. Some pointed to that distraction as a factor in their loss. Otherwise, the game was an entertaining but relatively controversy-free matchup. Super Bowl 30, 1996. The Dallas Cowboys secured their 5th title, defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-17. Neil O'Donnell threw 2 costly interceptions to cornerback Larry Brown, fueling bizarre rumors of intentional tanking. Conspiracy theories suggested O'Donnell was paid off, which was never backed by credible evidence. Humor aside, it made for wild fan chatter. Dallas fans simply celebrated another championship. Super Bowl 29, 1995. Steve Young's San Francisco 49ers demolished the San Diego Chargers 49-26. With the game largely one-sided, there wasn't much officiating debate. Some believed a weaker AFC team made for a boring outcome. Others criticized the NFL for lacking parity. Young's record 6 touchdown passes dominated headlines, leaving no room for a real controversy. Super Bowl 28, 1994. The Dallas Cowboys repeated against the Buffalo Bills. No major officiating or off-field scandal grabbed the spotlight. The biggest storyline was the Bills' 4th consecutive Super Bowl loss. Some fans speculated the league was tired of seeing Buffalo on the big stage, but that's more fan frustration than a real conspiracy. Dallas's second-half surge sealed it. Super Bowl 27, 1993. Dallas hammered Buffalo 52-17, overshadowing Leon Lett's infamous showboating fumble near the goal line. It wasn't a controversy so much as an embarrassing blooper. There were no major officiating complaints. Critics lamented another Super Bowl blowout, calling for better conference balance. The only scandal was Lett losing the ball, which remains one of the greatest gaffes in Super Bowl history. Super Bowl 26, 1992. Washington bested the Buffalo Bills 37-24. Officials faced minimal criticism, and no big scandal emerged. Buffalo's offense stalled due to a rough day from Jim Kelly, and some pointed to the Bills' constant Super Bowl heartbreak. The most notable drama was a power outage in some D.C. neighborhoods celebrating postgame, irrelevant to the actual game. Super Bowl 25, 1991. The New York Giants edged the Buffalo Bills 2019 in an all-time classic. The main controversy was Whitney Houston's show-stopping national anthem, later revealed to be partially lip-synced. Additionally, the Gulf War overshadowed the event, increasing security concerns. Scott Norwood's missed wide right field goal sealed the Bills' fate, and heartbreak overshadowed any officiating talk. Super Bowl 24, 1990. The 49ers obliterated the Broncos 55-10, the largest margin of victory in Super Bowl history. No significant officiating errors jumped out, and the game lacked real drama beyond the blowout. Denver's repeated Super Bowl failures under John Elway formed the main storyline. Fans simply watched Joe Montana and the Niners roll to a second straight title. Super Bowl 23, 1989. Joe Montana and the 49ers beat the Bengals in a thrilling 2016 comeback. The officiating was largely drama-free. Tim Crumry's gruesome leg injury was a storyline, though not a controversy, just an unfortunate moment. Some argued the Bengals got robbed by a non-call and a potential pass interference, but it never gained major traction. Montana's final drive remains legendary. Super Bowl 22, 1988. The Washington Redskins trounced the Denver Broncos 42-10 after an explosive second quarter. Doug Williams became the first black quarterback to start and win a Super Bowl. Historical, but not a scandal. The only minor flap was the pregame hype about Williams' knee injury, with some questioning if he'd play effectively. He obviously silenced doubters. Super Bowl 21, 1987. The New York Giants defeated the Denver Broncos 39-20, giving Phil Simms a near-perfect QB rating. Controversies were minimal. Some fans speculated the Broncos struggled because of the Parcells defensive mastermind theories that overshadowed the game, but that's more analysis than controversy. The officiating was fair, and Simms' MVP performance took center stage. Super Bowl 20, 1986. The Chicago Bears crushed the New England Patriots 46-10, featuring the famed 46 defense. Critics accused coach Mike Ditka of disrespecting Walter Payton by letting William the Refrigerator Perry score a TD instead of Payton. The debate continues. Payton was reportedly upset for not getting a touchdown. No major officiating disputes, just a blowout and a small locker room drama. Super Bowl 19, 1985. The 49ers bested Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins 38-16, Marino's only Super Bowl appearance. No large scandal overshadowed the action. Some fans believed Don Shula's game plan was too pass-heavy. The 49ers dominated both sides of the ball, leading to minimal officiating or off-field controversies. Marino never returned to the big stage. Super Bowl 18, 1984. The Los Angeles Raiders rolled over Washington 38-9. Fans questioned whether Washington's record-setting offense froze under pressure. The only mild controversy was Marcus Allen's MVP overshadowing the entire Washington roster, which underperformed. Nothing pointed to officiating errors. The game is largely remembered for Allen's iconic 74-yard TD run that sealed a blowout. Super Bowl 17, 1983. Washington defeated the Miami Dolphins 27-17, avenging their loss a decade earlier. The main conversation piece was John Riggins' 43-yard fourth down touchdown run, not officiating. Some Dolphins fans believed there was holding on that play, but replays didn't support a clear foul. A cleanly played game with minimal controversies, overshadowed by Riggins' heroic performance. Super Bowl 16, 1982. San Francisco 49ers edged the Cincinnati Bengals 26-21. A technical glitch occurred at the Pontiac Silverdome scoreboard, briefly confusing the clock and down markers. It didn't lead to an officiating uproar, but it caused chatter among fans who worried about time mismanagement. Joe Montana's MVP storyline overshadowed the minor stadium technical difficulties. Super Bowl 15, 1981. The Oakland Raiders defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 27-10, becoming the first wildcard team to win a Super Bowl. Off-field talk centered on QB Jim Plunkett's rags to riches story rather than officiating drama. There were no significant controversies. The Eagles' offense simply stalled. Some Eagles fans still gripe about a few borderline penalties, but none truly changed the outcome. Super Bowl 14, 1980. The Pittsburgh Steelers overcame the Los Angeles Rams 31-19. John Stallworth's 73-yard touchdown catch faced mild scrutiny, with Rams fans claiming offensive pass interference. Refs saw nothing illegal. Most recognized Pittsburgh's dynasty was unstoppable. The close score through three quarters made for a great game, but controversies were minimal. Super Bowl 13, 1979. The Steelers beat the Dallas Cowboys 35-31 in a high-scoring classic. A controversial pass interference call against Cowboys DB Benny Barnes helped set up a critical Pittsburgh touchdown. Many Dallas fans believed Lynn Swann initiated contact. Jackie Smith's drop pass in the end zone also drew heartbreak headlines. Fans still hotly debate the officiating. Super Bowl 12, 1978. The Dallas Cowboys defeated the Denver Broncos 27-10. Controversy was sparse, though some questioned co-MVP honors going to defensive linemen Harvey Martin and Randy White. It was the first and only time two players shared the award. Denver's 8 turnovers overshadowed everything else. Tom Landry's defense was so dominant, no officiating fiasco overshadowed it. Super Bowl 11, 1977. The Oakland Raiders dominated the Minnesota Vikings 32-14. Penalties weren't a major issue, and the Vikings' repeated Super Bowl failings took center stage. The highlight was Willie Brown's 75-yard interception return. Some Viking supporters claimed a missed face mask call, but no widespread controversy emerged. Another tough day at the office for Minnesota. Super Bowl 10, 1976. The Pittsburgh Steelers topped the Dallas Cowboys 21-17 in a memorable clash. Lynn Swann's acrobatic catches garnered all the attention. The biggest dispute was a possible penalty on Swann's leaping 53-yard grab, with Dallas fans claiming push-off. No official foul was called. The Steelers claimed back-to-back titles, overshadowing any minor officiating drama. Super Bowl 9, 1975. Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Minnesota Vikings 16-6. Both defenses shined. Minimal officiating issues, though some Vikings fans complained about a borderline pass interference no call. Pittsburgh's legendary Steel Curtain pitched a near shutout. Overall, the talk was about Bud Grant's 4th Super Bowl loss and Chuck Noll's first ring, not officiating. Super Bowl 8, 1974. The Miami Dolphins crushed the Minnesota Vikings 24-7 for back-to-back titles. No major controversies overshadowed the game. Larry Csonka's MVP rushing performance was unstoppable. Minnesota's Super Bowl woes continued, prompting gloom rather than officiating debates. Some fans argued the Vikings were too predictable, but that's more strategy critique than scandal. Super Bowl 7, 1973. The Miami Dolphins completed their perfect season, beating Washington 14-7. Garo Yepremian's infamous botched field goal attempt led to a bizarre pass attempt and a Washington touchdown. While embarrassing, it wasn't an officiating controversy. Perfection overshadowed everything else. With the final 17-0 record, it remains the only undefeated Super Bowl winning season. Super Bowl 6, 1972. Dallas Cowboys dominated the Miami Dolphins 24-3, capturing their first Lombardi. Controversies were scarce, overshadowed by Dallas's stifling doomsday defense. Miami would bounce back the next year with an undefeated run, but in this matchup, the Cowboys were simply better. No major officiating or off-field drama stood out. Super Bowl 5, 1971. Known as the Blunder Bowl, the Baltimore Colts edged the Dallas Cowboys 16-13 in a sloppy game riddled with turnovers and penalties. Controversial calls included a pass interference penalty on Dallas that set up the Colts' game-winning field goal. Chuck Howley became the first and still only Super Bowl MVP from a losing team, adding to the game's oddities. Super Bowl 4, 1970. The Kansas City Chiefs stunned the Minnesota Vikings 23-7. Rumblings about the AFL's competitiveness were finally silenced after the Jets and Chiefs both won. No major officiating fiascos emerged. The biggest complaint from Vikings fans was that their offense disappeared. Hank Stram famously mic'd up, but that was more entertainment than controversy. Super Bowl 3, 1969. The most iconic upset, Joe Namath guaranteed a New York Jets win over the heavily favored Baltimore Colts. Controversy centered on Namath's bold prediction and accusations that the Colts underestimated the AFL. Officiating wasn't a factor. The Jets' 16-7 victory shocked the football world and forced respect for the AFL. Super Bowl II, 1968. Green Bay Packers dispatched the Oakland Raiders 33-14. The Packers' second consecutive championship in the AFL-NFL era lacked a major scandal. Some question whether the AFL champion was strong enough to compete, fueling talk about league merger fairness. Nothing approached a game-changing controversy, though. Vince Lombardi then stepped away from Green Bay after the victory. Super Bowl I, 1967. The very first AFL-NFL World Championship game featured the Green Bay Packers and Kansas City Chiefs. The Packers won 35-10, but this Super Bowl label wasn't even official yet. The biggest controversy was the lack of a sellout crowd in Los Angeles. Yes, thousands of empty seats. Hard to imagine that now. The game itself was a fairly straightforward affair, with Vince Lombardi's Packers dominating. For real, though, every Super Bowl has some drama, whether it's a major officiating miscue, a questionable coaching decision, or just something wild off the field. These legendary moments keep sports talk shows buzzing and fuel barstool debates for decades. Hope this stroll through every controversy was helpful and entertaining. If this kind of all-out football deep dive is up your alley, consider subscribing to this channel. More action-packed, fact-loaded videos are on the way. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.